You just spent 20 bucks on that premium tire shine, sprayed it on, looks incredible. Deep, wet gloss. Then 3 days later, it's gone. Or worse, it's brown, streaky, and attracting every piece of road grit like a magnet. You're back where you started, except now your tires look worse than before you even tried. Here's the truth most detailing brands won't admit. The way you've been applying tire dressing is actually destroying the rubber and cutting the lifespan of that finish in half. There's a hidden prep step professionals use that locks in shine for weeks, not days, and it has nothing to do with buying more product. In fact, it costs almost nothing. But if you skip it, you're wasting your money and slowly degrading your sidewalls. Stay till the end because I'm going to show you the exact sequence that changes everything, plus the one ingredient you should never let touch your tires. Most people think tire dressing is just about making rubber shiny. It's not. The sidewall of your tire is porous. It's packed with oils, antioxidants, and carbon black that manufacturers engineer into the compound to resist UV damage and ozone cracking. Over time, those protective oils migrate out. They evaporate. They get scrubbed away by road salt and brake dust. What you're left with is dry, faded rubber that looks gray or brown. That's oxidation. Now, when you spray dressing onto that oxidized surface, you're coating dirt, old wax residue, and a layer of dead rubber. The dressing has nothing clean to bond to. It sits on top, slides off during the first drive, and leaves a greasy film that actually attracts more contamination. This is why your tires brown out so fast. The dressing never made contact with the actual rubber. It just made a mess on top of a mess. Here's what they don't tell you. Before any dressing goes on, you need to deep clean the sidewall down to bare rubber. Not just a quick rinse, not a pass with soap.
You need to strip every trace of old product, road film, and oxidation. Most people skip this because they don't think it matters. It's the only thing that matters. Think of it like painting a wall. If you paint over dirt and grease, the paint peels in a week. Same principle. Use a dedicated tire cleaner or a strong all-purpose cleaner diluted 4-to-1. Spray it on, let it dwell for 30 seconds, then scrub with a stiff tire brush, not a soft foam pad, a brush with actual bristles that can dig into the porous texture. You'll see brown foam. That's the contamination lifting. Rinse completely. If the water doesn't sheet off clean, scrub again. Only when the sidewall is completely clean does the real trick begin. Now here's the catch. Even after a perfect clean, your tire is bone dry. The pores are open. If you hit it with dressing immediately, it soaks in too fast and unevenly. You get dark spots, streaks, and short lifespan. The secret is to slightly dampen the sidewall first. Not soaking wet, not dripping, just barely damp. This does two things. It slows the absorption so the dressing spreads evenly, and it prevents the rubber from drinking up the entire product in the first 30 seconds. Professional detailers call this the damp application method. After your final rinse, don't dry the tire. Just shake off the excess water or give it one light pass with a microfiber. The surface should look matte and slightly moist. That's your application window. This one step alone doubles how evenly the product lays down and triples how long it lasts. Ignore it, and you're fighting physics. Here's the myth everyone believes. More product equals more shine and more durability. Wrong. Over-application is the #1 reason tire dressing fails. When you spray too much, the excess has nowhere to go. It flings off onto your paint, your wheels, your fenders. It puddles in the lettering. It attracts dirt within hours.
And it never fully cures, so it stays tacky and collects brake dust like flypaper. The right amount is always less than you think. One light, even coat on a damp sidewall will outlast 3 heavy coats on a dry one. If you're using a spray, hold the bottle 8 inches away and do 1 pass. If you're using a gel or cream, put a dime-size amount on an applicator pad and work it into the rubber with overlapping strokes. You should see the tire darken evenly, but not look wet or greasy. If it's dripping, you use too much. Wipe the excess immediately. Here's the hidden truth about tire dressing chemistry. There are 2 main types, water-based and solvent-based. Water-based products are safer, easier to apply, and give a natural satin finish. They dry fast and don't sling. But they don't last as long because they sit more on the surface. Solvent-based dressings penetrate deeper. They give that wet, glossy look people love. They last longer, but they also soften the rubber slightly, and if you use them too often on old or cracked tires, they can accelerate degradation. Neither is bad, but you need to match the product to your goal and your tire's condition. If your sidewalls are already dry or cracked, go water-based. If they're in good shape and you want maximum durability, solvent-based is fine, but use it sparingly. And never layer different types. Pick one and stick with it. Here's what happens when you ignore prep. You apply dressing, it looks good for half a day. You drive, the product flings onto your paint and bakes in the sun. Meanwhile, the sidewall starts to brown because the dressing never penetrated, it just smeared over dirt. You spray again. Now you've got 2 layers of gunk competing with each other, neither bonding properly. The tire stays sticky, dirt embeds, brake dust sticks, rain washes some of it off in streaks. After a month, your sidewalls look worse than before you ever dressed them. You blame the product.
But the product was never the problem. The problem was the process. If you notice your tires turning brown or purple after dressing, that's a sign of contamination or chemical reaction between old product and new. Strip it all off and start from zero. Don't add more on top. Now let's talk about high performance and summer tires. These have softer compounds designed for grip. They're stickier, they run hotter, and they're more sensitive to chemicals. If you use an aggressive solvent dressing on a high-performance tire, especially one that sees track use or spirited driving, you risk breaking down the outer layer faster. Heat amplifies the effect. I've seen sidewalls turn glossy brown and start to crack after repeated use of harsh dressings in hot climates. For these tires, stick to pH-neutral, water-based products. Apply them in the shade, let them cure fully before driving, and reduce frequency. Once every 2 weeks is enough. If you're dressing after every wash, you're overdoing it. The tire doesn't need that much protection. It needs to breathe. Overdressing suffocates the rubber and traps heat, especially in summer. Less is more, always. Here's the twist nobody talks about. The longest-lasting tire finish isn't a dressing at all. It's a sealant. Tire sealants are ceramic-infused or polymer-based products that chemically bond to the rubber and create a semi-permanent protective layer. They don't give you that dripping wet look. They give you a clean, dark satin finish that lasts 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer. They resist water, dirt, and UV without reapplication. They don't sling, they don't attract dust, and they're applied the exact same way. Deep clean, damp application, then even coat. Let cure. The difference is durability. If you're tired of reapplying every week, try a sealant. They cost a bit more up front, but you use a fraction of the product over time. And because they bond instead of coat, they actually protect the rubber from ozone and UV better than traditional dressings. So here's your step-by-step checklist. First, clean the tire thoroughly with a dedicated cleaner and stiff brush until the water rinses clear. Second, leave the sidewalls slightly damp, not dripping. Third, choose your product. Water-based for safety and satin, solvent for gloss and longevity, or sealant for maximum durability. Fourth, apply one thin, even coat using a foam applicator or controlled spray. Fifth, wipe off any excess immediately. Sixth, let it cure for at least 15 minutes before driving, longer if possible. Seventh, reapply only when the finish starts to fade, not on a fixed schedule. If you follow this sequence every time, your tires will stay dark, clean, and protected for weeks. No browning, no streaking, no wasted product. It's that simple. But only if you respect the process. Here's your final takeaway. Tire dressing isn't a spray and pray game. It's a chemistry and prep game. The product you choose matters less than how you prepare the surface and how you apply it. Clean first, damp application second, thin coat third, cure fourth. That's the formula. Do it right once and you won't need to do it again for weeks. Do it wrong and you'll chase your tail every weekend. Your tires are the foundation of your car's appearance. They frame everything. When they look good, the whole car looks dialed. When they look neglected, nothing else matters. Take the extra 5 minutes, do the prep, apply it smart, and watch your sidewall stay showroom dark longer than you thought possible. You've got the secret now. No more excuses. No more brown tires. Just results. Now I want to hear from you. What tire dressing have you been using? And how long does it actually last before you have to reapply?
Drop your answer in the comments because I'm testing the top 5 products next month, and I want to know what you're struggling with. If this just saved you time and money, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next video where I'm exposing the one wheel cleaner ingredient that's permanently staining expensive finishes and how to spot it before it's too late. Your wheels are next. Don't skip it.